This video is brought to you by brighttutoring.ca. Don't let school get in the way of your education. Book a tutoring session today at brighttutoring.ca. The Fellowship of Guelphissauga continues with the million-person march for protecting the children and the mayor going to New York City to avoid homecoming. He split town just in time as both events drew huge hangry crowds to the Shire. Yelling matches and protest signs filled the streets as the Elder Elves tried to intervene. Can Carly of Klassen and the Elder Elves do anything about the housing cost crisis? And did the protest complete its goal? The mayor knew homecoming was scheduled at his usual time this year, so he planned to split town before the shitstorm hit the Shire. He booked a grand trip over the border to New York City for a climate action vacay conference. Along with other mayors, he hoped to wine and dine on the most succulent of climate actions. Bringing along his favorite suit and sneakers, he took a dog Uber to the Shire's airport to catch his direct flight to the Empire State. The airplane departed as the mayor got comfortable in his first-class seat. He made sure to book a window seat so he could watch the Shire from above. It gave a bird's-eye view of the crowd homecoming that he was avoiding. The plane banked southward as the mayor could see the south end of the Shire and the mass of people gathered there. The mayor watched the huge crowd from homecoming in the student ghetto from the air. And what looked like a pile of ants spilling into the streets, it was a multicolored crowd of red, gold, and black. The crowd had a yellow perimeter where the cops were cashing in on their overtime pay. The police said they didn't want the partying students to get into any shenanigans, like egging people's houses. But in reality, they were there watching the students hang out and searching for revenue-generating infractions. The police weren't wrong about egging shenanigans being an issue in the Shire. Recently, 2 eggs were left on someone's front porch with a threatening letter. The letter read, "Put your dumb cunt on a leash," written in a big black marker. The Shire's police were busy investigating the source of the letter as they were suspicious it came from the off-leash dog puncher. The mayor enjoyed the view of the new $1 million police station as he flew away from the Shire. As the plane rose, he could see the big parking lot downtown that he was anticipating going full NIMBY mode on over next month. The parking lot the mayor was looking at was the big Baker Street parking lot. Historically a graveyard, the location has plans for 2 15-story mixed-use buildings, along with potential for stacked townhouses. A total of 174 residential units is proposed for the southernmost tower, with ground floor commercial units. The mayor had plans to celebrate the solid double-digit tower saurons with his orcish friends at Windmill Developments. As the property developers for the lot, they said they're, quote, committed to a target of 12% affordable housing units for the combined total of the private component of the project. But a 12% affordable rate implies an 88% unaffordable rate, which is what the property developer orcs were really hoping for. They could go yimby 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 all the way to the bank as they collect inflated rent and condo fees. All they have to do is get through the public consultation in October before they can drink the NIMBY tears of their opponents. A public meeting is set to take place during the Council of Elders planning meeting next month on October 17th. In order to speak at the meeting, the deadline to register or provide written comments is 10 a.m. on October 13th. The mayor's flight was almost out of the Shire as another huge crowd caught his eye. "Whoa, that's crazy," he said honestly, unlike when he said that last week about the housing cost crisis. There was another huge crowd downtown that the mayor didn't know about. He missed out on the news with the cancellation of the Guelph Mercury newspaper. He opened his phone and went to Twitter to see what was going on, and luckily he found a live stream thanks to a good Guelph citizen. The huge crowd the mayor saw downtown was the 1 million march for protecting the children. With a crowd size rivaling that of homecoming, it looked like a mass of rainbow-colored people in the center of town. The mayor could see a hard line through the middle of the crowd and protest signs waving overhead. The general purpose of the protest was to protect the children, particularly in and on the way to school. One group was there to express concern about sex education, a lack of parental input in the school system, and the belief that Canada's educators are indoctrinating kids. They marched down Gordon Street screaming, "Leave our kids alone." The second part of the crowd was also there to protect the children on the way to school instead of at school. They were counter-protesting to express concern over children skipping over the rainbow crosswalk as they walked to school. They insisted that rainbow crosswalks were the best for children as they waved their protest signs and yelled with their masks on. The fat cats in the university's ivory tower could also see the protest from their viewpoint, and they commented about it on Twitter. They restated their commitment to protecting their students with their diversity, equity, and inclusion agenda. Back at the Council of Elders chambers, the room was empty and dark. It echoed from the loud noises of the protest going on outside, which is where the rest of the council was. They were busy in the streets acting on a local level instead of traveling globally like the mayor was doing. The Elder Elves, Carly of Klassen, and Aaron of Caton were all downtown dealing with the chaos. Caton was focusing on protecting the children and the rainbow crosswalk. She was concerned about the off-leash dog punchers showing up and the protest getting violent. Whereas the Elder Elves and Carly of Klassen attempted to bring a peaceful resolution to the protest. They tried to talk to people calmly and separate them into their appropriate groups based on their color of the rainbow. The Elder Elves agreed to protect the children first, instead of getting distracted by all the other topics dogpiled into the chaos. Meanwhile, the mayor's flight arrived in New York City and he took his limousine to the hotel. He checked in, and the hotel staff reminded him that he had a gift waiting for him in his room from the conference. The mayor said "Yimby Yimby" as he took the elevator to his room. He opened the door and saw the surprise. It was a custom drinking cup of his favorite thing, drinking NIMBY tears. The mayor felt at home as he unpacked his bag and ordered room service. Can Carly of Klassen and the Elder Elves do anything about the housing cost crisis? And did the protest complete its goal? Stay tuned here to see.